Some stories are too dangerous to tell, but impossible to forget. This is one of them. A love so forbidden it burns brighter in the dark. The screen is black. A single sound of rain falling begins, soft but steady, like the rhythm of a beating heart. Then faint city lights appear blurry, unfocused, glowing through the night storm. Neon signs flicker, water drips down the camera lens. The faceless city is alive but lonely. A low, calm voice enters, almost like a secret confession. We are all guilty of something. Some of us guilty of wanting what we cannot have. The image shifts to a dim hallway. A door creaks open, light spilling into darkness. A figure steps inside, but the face is hidden, just a silhouette. Across the hallway, another figure turns their head, their eyes glimmering with curiosity and danger. The two strangers lock eyes for a second too long. The voice continues. It began with a look, a glance that lasted longer than it should, a look that carried 1,000 words no one dared to speak. The sound of footsteps echoes, a close-up of hands brushing past each other in the crowd, barely touching, but the electricity is undeniable. The faceless figures move through the busy world, but all we see is the invisible thread pulling them closer. The camera cuts to a window fogged with rain. A hand slides down the glass, trembling, uncertain. Outside, headlights sweep across the street, casting shadows that cross like destinies. The voice softens. They tried to turn away, but love is a fire. Once lit, it does not ask for permission to burn. The music begins to rise, slow and haunting, strings that stretch with tension. Flashes of their lives appear. One figure, sitting at a family table, surrounded by laughter but looking hollow. The other in a lonely room, staring at the ceiling, clutching a letter. Both of them walking different streets in different worlds, yet the pull between them grows stronger. The voice sharpens. Some loves are blessings, others are curses. This one was both. Suddenly the rain grows louder. A car speeds past, water splashing against the screen, then silence. The camera fades into darkness again, leaving only the faint outline of two shadows. Standing dangerously close, the section closes with a final whisper. It wasn't fate. It wasn't chance, it was a mistake. And mistakes always leave scars. Asterisk, the sound of rain fades into silence, replaced by the faint ticking of a clock. The screen is dark, then slowly brightens to reveal a crowded cafe. The camera never shows faces, only movements, the way one hand stirs a cup too slowly, the way another hand taps the table nervously. Two figures sit across the room, not together but not apart. Their eyes, unseen yet felt, keep finding each other. A soft, restrained voice cuts in. They told themselves it was nothing. Just a glance, just a passing moment. But temptation grows in silence. The scene shifts, a hallway. Their paths cross again. The world moves in slow motion, the crowd walks around them. But the camera follows the small details. The slight turn of a shoulder, the pause in a step, the hesitation before walking away. The music beneath builds like a secret heartbeat. Steady but quickening. The narrator continues. The heart is stubborn. It doesn't listen to rules or families or warnings. It only listens to the echo of another heart beating in the same rhythm. Now we see stolen fragments. A book slipped across a desk, fingers brushing lightly. A half-smile seen only in reflection on a train window. A phone buzzing in the middle of the night, unanswered but not ignored. The lighting grows warmer, golden, as if love itself is painting the world brighter. But it's paired with shadows that never leave the edges of the screen. The duality is clear, passion and guilt intertwined. The voice grows lower, almost as if warning. Every secret feels safe in the dark. Until the dark begins to whisper. Back, the figures finally meet alone. A stairwell, empty, hidden from the world. Their bodies are close, their voices unheard, but the silence between them says everything. The hand reaches out, trembling, stopping just short of a touch. The sound of their breaths fill the silence, sharp and heavy. The camera cuts away before skin meets skin, leaving only the tension behind. The montage quickens, them walking side by side at night, close but not touching, shadows stretching long behind them. A hand gripping a steering wheel too tightly, fighting against desire. A secret message written and deleted again and again. A pair of eyes closing in guilt after. A stolen kiss on the cheek. The strings in the background climb higher, filled with yearning. And music carries both sweetness and danger. Like two notes clashing in harmony and dissonance, the narrator breathes the truth aloud. They promised themselves they would stop. That one moment was enough. But hearts that touch once always, find their way back. The imagery grows bolder now, a hotel door closing slowly behind them. A window curtain blowing as someone pulls it shut. Hands pressed together against glass. Desperate and afraid, the lighting darkens again, the golden glow fading into red. As if love is turning into fire, the voice whispers with urgency. They thought they were safe, hidden between shadows. But every stolen moment is a spark, and sparks always become flames. The section closes on a powerful beat. The two figures finally face each other in a dimly lit room, close enough that the audience can almost feel the heat between them. Their faces remain unseen, but their closeness, their trembling, the unspoken words in the silence, everything screams desire. The final line of this section strikes like a warning bell. They weren't falling in love anymore. They were falling into danger. Asterisk, the sound of soft strings is shattered by the slam of a door. Darkness takes the screen for a second. Then the image flickers to life shards of glass scattered across the floor, reflecting the trembling light of a lamp. The mood has shifted. The warmth and golden glow of temptation are gone. Now everything is colder, sharper, heavier. A steady, broken voice enters. Every secret has a cost. Every forbidden love must be paid for sooner or later. The camera cuts to a dinner table. Plates are set, laughter fills the air. But the focus is not on joy, it's on the silent figure sitting among them. Their hands clenching beneath the tablecloth, their mind far away. The scene blurs, the laughter turns hollow, and the sound of a single heartbeat grows louder, drowning out the room. Suddenly a phone vibrates on the table. A message flashes across the screen, unseen by the others but caught by watchful eyes. Suspicion lingers in the air. The tension tightens like a rope around the throat, the voice grows heavier. They wanted love. Instead, they found lies. And lies never stay hidden. Quick cuts follow, a figure pacing across a dark room, whispering into the phone, their face unseen but their hands trembling. Another figure crying silently into a pillow, the city lights outside flickering like a judgmental witness. A shadowy confrontation in a hallway, two voices raised but muffled, one desperate, the other furious. The music swells, no longer romantic but stormy. Like a tide about to break its barrier, the narrator warns. The closer they held on to each other, the further the world tore them apart. The screen shifts to a family scene, an argument erupting. A hand slams down on the table, chairs scrape against the floor. Words are shouted, but the sound is distorted, muted, as though we are trapped inside the chaos without hearing the full truth. The only sound that cuts through is a single word, shouted in fury. Enough! The imagery grows darker. A car racing through the night, headlights cutting across empty streets. A hand letting go of another in the rain, the fingers slipping apart as thunder rolls overhead. A shattered picture frame on the ground. The glass slicing across the reflection of two people standing together, the voice cracks, filled with both sorrow and rage. They thought love would protect them. But love, when stolen, leaves scars. Deeper than hatred, the montage accelerates. Every shot is quick, violent, desperate. Someone running down a staircase, chased by shadows. A secret letter being torn apart, the pieces falling like snow. A kiss in the dark, broken by the sound of a door creaking open. A hand reaching out for help, met only by emptiness. The music climbs to a breaking point, violin screaming. Drums pounding. The narrator whispers one final truth. When you love against the rules, every choice becomes a crime. And every crime demands punishment. The screen explodes with imagery, a glass of wine thrown against the wall, red streaking like blood. A figure screaming in silence, their face blurred in shadow. A car crash of lights and screeching brakes, then sudden stillness. The last shot lingers. Two figures standing on opposite sides of a locked gate. Neither can move closer. Neither can walk away. The air between them is thick with everything unsaid. The music cuts out completely. The screen turns black dot, and then the voice delivers the chilling close to this section. Their love was no longer a secret. It was a war. Asterisk, the screen stays. Black for a moment too long, the silence thick, unsettling. Then an explosion of light. A window shatters in slow motion, glass scattering like stars against the dark. A single piano note begins to play, echoing like a heartbeat in a hollow room. The voice enters, low and haunted. Every love has its breaking point, and theirs had come. The imagery rushes forward, faces remain unseen, but the emotions are undeniable. A figure runs through the rain, soaked, desperate, searching. Another stands at a crossroads, trembling, clutching a suitcase in one hand, a letter in the other. In the distance, sirens wail, red and blue lights painting the wet streets like wounds. The music builds, layers of strings and drums colliding in chaos. They thought love would save them. But love, when pushed to the edge, destroys. The montage strikes faster, sharper like a blade. A door bursts open, revealing shadows confronting each other in silence. A car spins out of control, headlights flashing before darkness swallows it whole. A candle burns low, the flame flickering, struggling to survive against the storm. Then the sound cuts to nothing but breath, heavy, frantic. Two figures stand inches apart in a dim room, their outlines barely visible. Their hands hover in the air, reaching but not touching. Time seems frozen. The voice softens, almost tender. They were not villains. They were not saints. They were only human, guilty of wanting too much. The scene cracks open with violence. A scream echoes, muffled, heart-wrenching. A hand slams against glass, leaving streaks of blood-red light across the surface. The rain outside turns into a downpour, drowning everything in noise. The montage grows rapid, overwhelming, lovers clutching each other in an alley, tears mixing with rain, a furious parent throwing a photograph into the fire, a phone shattering against the floor. Two figures running, always running, but never escaping the shadows behind them. The music swells to its peak. A storm of sound. The narrator's voice cuts through, sharp and final. They thought they had found love, but what they found was their fault, their sign, their curse. Suddenly, silence again. The last images are hauntingly slow. A ring falls from someone's hand, rolling across the floor until it stops in darkness. A candle finally dies, leaving smoke curling into the night. Two shadows stand on opposite sides of a crumbling bridge, reaching out, but the gap between them is too wide. The title crashes onto the screen. Culpa Nostra, our fault. The final whisper drips like poison and honey combined. Would you risk everything for the one you were never meant to love? The screen fades to black. The faint sound of rain returns soft, eternal before vanishing into silence.